For more on Vladimir Putin's return to the Kremlin, I'm joined now by Moscow-based analyst and blogger Alexandre Latsa. Alexander, thanks for being with us. So you've been living in Moscow for nearly 5 years now. So I suppose you do know Vladimir Putin is largely seen by the Russian population as the person who brought stability to the 1990s. Now, do you think that Russians are willing to trust his policies now as they did during his first 8 years of office?
Well, I think when someone receives more than 60% of the vote at first round of elections, it means that he has a strong support. That's the first thing. So, well, I do think that people trust him also because there is nobody else which is able to maybe drive and manage the country now. So I think, yes, they do, and they have no choice because he's elected. But the biggest job has now to be done. It means that for 12 years ago, the job for Putin was to make so that the country didn't explode. 8 years ago, it was to put the roots for the future development of the country and bring stability. It is something that has been done already. Now we know that stability is on the country, that there is economic growth, everything is going more or less on the good way, even if there is a lot to do. But of course, there was the crisis in 2008, so it was a hard moment for Russia. And now Putin and his administration has to invent a new stage of development for Russia, for nowadays Russia. So this is the big job that has to be done.
Yes, big job indeed. Now, in terms of NATO and the U.S. missile defense project in Europe, do you think that Russia's international stance will change significantly with Vladimir Putin at the helm?
I don't think so. I think the foreign policy of Russia has been the same for a long time now, and it will keep on going on the same way. It's also has to be said that if you have a foreign power military organization like NATO who is putting some missile shield at your border, you don't need any other enemies because that's the biggest and best enemy that you can find. So I think that the position of Russia on foreign policy won't change.
Now, do you think that with Putin in power, Moscow will begin to be more forceful in establishing closer ties with those former Soviet republics?
I think so. When Putin made his speech this morning, he said that Russia has to become the strongest power in Eurasia. So I think it means that they want to put some more strong link with the former Soviet Republic in Eurasia. But not only. I think that the target for Russia is also to develop strongest link with the European countries.
Now,
maybe not with European Union, but with the European countries.
I'd like to focus a little bit more on Russia's domestic issues. You know, there are plenty of problems here. There's the economy, there's corruption, there's political freedoms, and so on. What do you think is going to be at the forefront of Putin's reign, sort of, his policies? Well,
like we say in Russia, the roads is one of the biggest problems, but not only. No, I think that you said most of it. The corruption is, of course, I think the biggest issue because it's also the main problem for foreign countries and the way they see Russia. If something is going to be done against corruption, which I hope, and which has to be done in my opinion, then it will be a very strong and positive point for Putin policy within the country and the way foreign countries see Russia.
Now, yesterday was a very exciting day. France has a new president-elect, François Hollande. Do you think what do you think Putin's approach will be to him?
Well, again, I think that Putin's approach to France won't change, but I'm afraid that maybe France's approach to Russia and to Putin will change, because with Nicolas Sarkozy and when the right were managing France during these last 5 years, they did a lot to increase the ties with Russia, and I hope that it will keep on going on this way, but I'm not sure. And maybe the next months we'll see some interesting developments on this point.
All right. Live in our studio here in Moscow, analyst Alexandre Latsa, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.